Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I am doing a deep dive into the 2024 Nevada Senate election. This is going to be one of the closest Senate races in the entire country, with Democratic incumbent Jacky Rosen facing Republican challenger Sam Brown. A lot of money has already been poured into this race, and as Nevada is expected to be one of the closest states at the presidential level, the Senate race seems to be following suit, although not as closely as the presidential race. We'll be getting more into that in just a second. Firstly, looking at the Nevada Senate voting history across the last three elections, in 2022, Democratic incumbent Senator Catherine Cortez Masto won against her Republican opponent Adam Laxalt by just 0.8% of the vote. This is a very, very close race, one of the closest Senate races in the entire country in 2022. In 2018, this was Democratic candidate, now Senator Jacky Rosen, going up against Republican incumbent Senator Dean Heller. And this is in 2018, which is regarded as a very, very big Democratic wave year. This was the first midterm of Donald Trump's presidency in 2018, and Jacky Rosen won this Senate seat by over a 5% margin of victory. In 2016, this was an open race between Catherine Cortez Masto, who went on to win, and Republican former Representative Joe Heck, and this race was won by Masto by 2.4%. Currently, in the polling average for Jacky Rosen on Real Clear Politics, she's currently at 48.2%. Sam Brown is currently at 43.3%, a margin of a little bit under 5%. Looking at how the national vote went in these elections, in 2022, the national vote was 0.1% advantage for the Republicans. In 2018, the national Senate vote was 19.9% advantage for the Democrats. And in 2016, the national Senate vote was 10.8% advantage for the Democrats, an average of 10.2% in favor of the Democrats. I want to bring this up because I felt it was important, because I believe the 2018 election map is the map that's going to be happening in 2024. The one that we're currently talking about in this video, the Nevada Senate race, will be a part of the 2018 map, but now in 2024. It's all the same Senate seats from that election. In the current congressional voting average poll, which is do you prefer Democrats or Republicans, on the RCP average right now, Republicans are up by 0.8. Looking at how Nevada voted in these elections compared to the national Senate vote, in 2022, Nevada voted 0.9% more Democratic than the national Senate vote. In 2018, Nevada voted 14.9% more Republican than the national Senate vote. And in 2016, Nevada voted 8.4% more Republican than the national Senate vote. That is an average between 2016 and 2022 of Republican plus 7.5%, and between 2018 and 2022 of Republican plus 7. Looking at our two candidates for the 2024 Nevada Senate race, on the left is Democratic incumbent Senator Jacky Rosen. On the right is Republican challenger Sam Brown, of course endorsed by Donald Trump as well. The current forecast for the state of Nevada in its 2024 Senate race, some very similar, one that's very different. Real Clear Politics has this race listed as a toss-up. Sabado Crystal Ball has it as lean for Rosen. 538 has it as a likely Rosen. Decision Desk HQ in The Hill and Cook Political Report both have it as lean for Senator Rosen. Looking at the Senate polling average right now for this race, Real Clear Politics has Rosen leading by 4.9%. 538 has Rosen leading by 7.6%. 270 to win has Rosen leading by 6.7%, and Decision Desk HQ The Hill has Rosen leading by 5.8%, an average of 6.3% right now. Though it is worth noting, at the numbers I showed you earlier, 48.2 to 43.3, there is a substantial amount of undecided vote and third-party vote left outstanding that I think is going to play a very, very important role into determining who wins this race. Now, some key counties in Nevada I'm watching for. This really begins and ends with Clark County. This is the largest county in the state of Nevada. This is where most of the people are going to vote on election night. Over 50% of the vote will come from Clark County. It's also the biggest Democratic area of where votes are, though it's very, very important for the margins, because the margins of victory in the most recent elections have gone a little bit smaller. And I'm just looking at the 2022 Senate map, where there was over 1 million votes cast in the state. Over 680,000 of those votes came from Clark County alone. This is, of course, where Las Vegas is. So Clark County on election night is very, very important to watch. And if you're paying attention to the Senate race, this is one county you absolutely have to watch for. In 2022, it was won by the Democrat by 7.8%. In 2018, it was won by the Democrat by 14.2%. And in 2016, it was won by the Democrat by 11%. Definitely very, very important to watch for. The second county I'm going over is Washoe County. This is where the city of Reno is. This is a big drop off in terms of population compared to Clark County, but it is the second biggest county in the state in terms of population. In 2022, again, as I mentioned, over 1 million votes casted in the state. About 194,000 of them came out of Washoe County. So this is the second largest county in the state, and another one that's very important to watch. This one is very, very close, very competitive. In 2016, it was won by the Republican by 0.8%, won by the Democrat by 3.6% in 2018, and then won by the Democrat by 4.4% in 2022. So definitely right now a very close county, capable of going red or blue, has been a lean Democratic county in the last two Senate elections. Be very interesting to watch on 2024 if that happens again. Now, third, we're getting into more of the Republican counties in Nevada, which usually are pretty big in terms of area, but not too big in population. The third largest county in the state is Lyon County, which had 23,000 votes back in 2022. This is a Republican plus 38 in 2016, Republican 42 in 2018, and almost Republican 43 in 2022. This would be a big Republican win on election night. Now we have Carson City in the county of Carson City County. This is the fourth largest county with over 23,700 votes in 2022. This is going to be a likely Republican county on election night, probably between 5 to 15% margin of victory for the Republican candidate. The margins of this county could matter depending on if it's a very close race or not. It was 13.2 in 2016, 13.3 in 2018, and then went down to 8.9 in 2022. So the margins could be very, very important in a close race, but I do expect this county to be a likely Republican county on election night. Next, we have Nye County, over 20,000 votes for the Republicans, or total, in 2022. It was a 33% win nearly in 2016, 37% win in 2018, and 38% win in 2022. This will be another big Republican area. A few tens of thousands of votes will come out of Nye County. Elko County, not too dissimilar, a little over 16,000 votes in 2022. This will be a Republican plus 50 county on election night. This is going to be padding the stats for Republicans in this area. Douglas County, very similar. Over 29,000 votes will come out of Douglas. This will be a Republican plus 30 county on election night as well. Really not too much to say that hasn't been said about Lyon and Nye. Very, very similar situation. Churchill County, much smaller. This will be about 10,000 votes, but based on 2022. But again, Republican plus 30 county, won't be very competitive. Churchill County, same story. A little over 9,800 votes. Again, very, very similar. Humboldt, it's going to be relatively the same, about 6,000 in 2022. Republican plus 40 plus 50 district. And White Pine, Republican plus 40, 50 district. Looking at only a few thousands of votes in 2022. Maybe 5,000, 6,000 votes in 2024. Not really expecting too much for turnout there. So of all the key counties I'm watching, Clark County, Washoe County are definitely the big two that I am watching in the state of Nevada, especially if I had to pick one. Clark County, again, over 50% of the population in Nevada lives in Clark County. This will literally make or break the election. If how Trump is able to do on the presidential level, how Sam Brown's able to do at the Senate level in Clark County will be the difference between having a close race that he could win or a close race that Jacky Rosen will win. So Clark County, very important. Washoe County, not too far behind. Looking at the 2022 Senate race at the county map level in the state of Nevada, this was 48.8% for Catherine Cortez Masto, 48% for Adam Laxalt. And looking at these key areas, Clark County, 52.4%, 44.6%. As I mentioned, again, just to give you the totals, in Clark County, where in 2022, there was a margin of difference in this county of 53,000 votes. 53,000 vote difference between Catherine Cortez Masto and Adam Laxalt, 53,000 votes. The total statewide difference between Masto and Laxalt was only 7,928 votes. So a very small difference statewide, a huge difference in Clark County. If Laxalt was able to chip away at some of the votes in Clark County, hypothetically speaking, of course, this wouldn't actually happen, this is just hypothetically, if he was able to chip away a few percent in Clark County, say make it 50 to 47, then Laxalt would win a very close statewide election. That's why Clark County is so important. So Clark County, very, very important in 2022. Washoe County, 50.8 to 46.3. This was a difference, a margin of victory of 8,615 votes. So just in the 2022 scenario, had Laxalt been able to win the state or win the county of Washoe County, that would have actually flipped the Senate race and given him the narrow victory. So again, Washoe County, even though it's not as big as Clark County and Las Vegas, can certainly also play a very important role in who wins the Senate race. Lyon County was 69.26.4 for Laxalt. Carson City, 52.6 to 43.6 for Laxalt. Douglas, 64.8 to 32.5 for Laxalt. Clark, as I mentioned, 52.4 to 44.6 for Masto. Nye, 66.4, 28.6. White Pine, 74.7, 20.4. Elko, 75.2 to 20.3. Churchill, 71.2, 24.5. And Humboldt, 72.9 to 22.2, all for Laxalt. That was 2022, a very, very close race. Now looking at 2018, a 5-point race for the Democratic candidate defeating the Republican incumbent, 50.4 to 45.4. So I'm going to pull up the numbers for this race as well, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at in Clark County once again. In Clark County, 55.1 to 40.9, over a 652,000 vote difference in Clark County. Statewide, the difference was 972,000 votes. So 2/3 of the vote difference in the margin of victory for the Democratic candidate came out of Clark County. Again, just being able to chip away at a few votes in Clark County as a Republican can be very, very important as to whether or not you can win the state of Nevada as a Republican or not. On the Democratic side, you want to keep running up the margins in Clark County like these Democratic candidates for Senate have been doing. So follow the map and keep it going if you're a Democrat. Republicans looking to try and chip away at these margins and improve them. Washoe County. Washoe had a margin of 188,000 votes out of the 972,000 statewide. So about 1/8 of the margins of victory came out of Washoe County as well. Not as big as Clark, but still very important. Washoe was 49.9 to 46.2 in favor of Rosen. Lyon County, 68.3 to 26.4 for Heller. Carson City, 54.3 to 41.1 for Heller. Douglas, 64.3 to 31.9 for Heller. Clark, 55.1 to 40.9 for Rosen. And then Nye County, 65.1, 27.9. White Pine, 72.5, 19.6. Elko, 75.7, 19.1. Churchill, 73.3, 20.8. And Humboldt, 72.5, 21.4, all going for Dean Heller. Now looking at 2016, I think a margin that could be very similar to what we end up seeing potentially for election night 2024. Not as much third party or undecided vote or none of these candidates vote as 2024, but I think it could be expected that a 2 to 3% margin of victory could be realistic. Catherine Cortez Masto, when she was then a candidate, not a senator, got 47.1%. Joe Heck, the representative from Nevada, got 44.7%. So again, I'm just going to check one last time the numbers in Clark County, where the margin of victory at 51.3 to 40.3 percentage-wise was 753,000 votes. The total margin of victory statewide for Masto was 1.1 million. So again, 753,000 of the 1.1 million, well over 50%, well over 60% of the total margin of victory vote came out of Clark County. Very, very important to remember for election night. Washoe County, this county was actually won by Joe Heck, 46.9 to 46. And when you look at Washoe County, this is a margin of victory of 207,000 votes of the 1.1 million. So again, actually, Joe Heck was able to do what he had to do in Washoe County, that if, say, Laxalt was able to do that in 2022, he would have won the Senate race just based on the numbers. If they flipped the exact same way, that would have been enough. But this race in 2016 in Clark County was not close enough to make that situation a possibility. So for Republicans to win, you can win Washoe County, but you also need to make the margin smaller in Clark County, which is why, again, I keep saying how important Clark County is for both the Republican and Democrats' pathway to victories. At the statewide level, Masto got 47.1, Heck got 44.7, Washoe County 46.9 to 46 for Heck, Lyon County 64.6, 26.8 for Heck, Carson City 52.5, 39.2 for Heck. Douglas County 63.6 to 30.4, a win for Heck. Clark County 51.3, 40.3, very big win, important win for Masto. Nye County 60 to 27.1, White Pine 69.1, 19.3, Elko County 73.3, 17.4, Churchill County 70.8, 20.6, and Humboldt County 64.3, 20.6, all won by Joe Heck. Looking now at the political parties and their history in the Senate races, in 2022, the Democratic candidate Catherine Cortez Masto got 48.8%, 2018 Jacky Rosen got 50.4%, and in 2016 the Democratic candidate Catherine Cortez Masto got 47.1%. That is an average across the last few elections of 48.8%, and an estimated range taking the highest total of 50.4 minus the lowest total of 47.1. That got a difference of 3.3. I then added 3.3 to the high end, subtracted 3.3 from the low end, got an estimated range of 43.8 on the low end and 53.7 on the high end. And before I go too much more into that, I'm also going to do the Republican side now and just compare the two on that slide. On the Republican side, in 2022, the high Adam Laxalt got was 48%. That was the highest the Republicans got in the last few elections here. In 2018, the Republican got 45.4%, Dean Heller. And in 2016, Joe Heck got 44.7%, an average vote across the last three elections of 46%. Again, conducting a range of the high end 48 minus the low end 44.7. That got an estimated range, or difference, of 3.3 as well. Add 3.3 to the high end, subtract 3.3 from the low end, you get an estimated range of 41.4 to 51.3. So looking at the ranges, both of them show a very close competitive race that is capable of being won by both parties. Both candidates break 50% of the vote, and by not just a small margin, but by a pretty decently sized margin. However, it needs to be noted that on the low end, the Democrats start off with about a 2.4% advantage over the Republicans, and on the high end, the Democrats finish with a 2.4% advantage on the high end. So it is worth noting, this is a very close race, and both parties can win it. However, based on the low, in terms of where both parties start and where both parties at the high end finish, the Democrats do have about a 2.4% advantage in both where they start and where they finish compared to the Republicans on the 2024 estimated range. As for my prediction for the state of Nevada in its Senate race, I do predict that Jacky Rosen will win the Senate race at 49.8%. Sam Brown will lose the Senate race with 47.2%, a margin of victory of 2.6%. This is a really tough one because I think right now the polling momentum is certainly on Sam Brown's side, especially as Donald Trump has gone up in the polls in the state of Nevada as well. It's incredibly tight at the presidential level. The Senate race, however, right now, Jacky Rosen's held about a 4 to 5 point lead in the polls in the last few weeks, and that's as Sam Brown has gone up. It wasn't only a few weeks ago and month ago that Jacky Rosen was leading by close to 8, 9, even 10 points at times in the Senate race. So this race has tightened significantly going into Election Day. It's part of the reason I have it as only a 2.6% margin of victory as a reflection of how close this race has gotten. But I do think Jacky Rosen, being the incumbent, it's very difficult to unseat an incumbent. And in a state like Nevada, a very contested swing state, I do think she's going to be able to hold on very, very narrowly and potentially even split the ticket where Donald Trump wins the state of Nevada and Jacky Rosen wins the Senate race. That is a realistic possibility for election night. It is also worth noting that there will be about 1 to 2% of either third-party vote or none of these candidates vote, as seems to be customary across the last 3 elections in the state of Nevada. So prediction for Nevada, Jacky Rosen 49.8, Sam Brown 47.2. With Nevada added to the 2024 Senate map, I now have the Republicans at 51 Senate seats, Democrats at 45, after giving some very important key toss-up Senate maps like Florida, Texas, Arizona, and now Nevada to the Republicans and Democrats respectively, and the state of Montana, of course. We now only have 4 Senate seats left to go over in my 2024 Senate map. The next one will be on the state of Wisconsin, so please stay tuned for that one. That should be a very, very interesting one that you are not going to want to miss. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in a future Senate Deep Dive. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.